this is a developing story. Guys, you probably heard it in Tom Clayton's last bulletin. And I know this gentleman, I'm quite distressed myself about it. The Celtic chief executive, Peter Lowell's Lanarkshire home, petrol bombed as the family slept, and a major fire then ensued. Peter Lowell, the chief exec of Celtic, of course, I know the area of Glasgow that he lives in, very smart area, but that's by the by. In the early hours of this morning, it sparked a major emergency response. Apparently individuals reportedly targeted cars parked in the driveway of the Celtic chief's Lanarkshire home with petrol bombs, causing the fire to spread towards the house. This is very distressing news. My colleague David Tanner joins us live. David, what else do you know? Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Well, it's been confirmed by the police that nobody was injured, first of all. Officers are currently working with the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service to establish the cause of this blaze. Celtic have just said in the last few minutes in a statement that they can confirm that significant damage has been caused to Peter Lowell's family home and vehicles there following both an explosion and fire early this morning. And that forced the family to leave the property, Celtic say. Clearly, they say that Peter's family are extremely shaken and shocked by these terrible events, but thankfully all are safe. And they say that Peter and his family will, of course, receive the full support and care of everyone at the club. And they understand Celtic and the Police Scotland are currently undertaking a criminal investigation. Now, the scale of this fire, it's worth noting that the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service sent 8 appliances and 40 firefighters at 1 o'clock in the morning to the Lowell family home in the south side of Glasgow. So it was a substantial blaze, and there has been, as Celtic said, there's significant damage. It's a really shocking story.
David, you and I know Peter Lowell extremely well. I've known him for years. He's been a great servant to Celtic, and of course he's now leaving the club. He leaves in the next few days at the end of the season. I mean, for an individual like this who's so high profile, for anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, David, but for something like this to happen to someone who's given such service, not only to Celtic but to Scottish football, is an absolute contemptible disgrace, isn't it? It is
it's a new low for for people involved in Scottish football. There's no doubt about that. Now, we don't know who's behind it. The police are investigating, and we shouldn't speculate on that. But certainly, for someone's family home, to be attacked in this manner, is truly shocking.
And you say, David, the family had to leave. They've moved out. They've had to go.
Absolutely, they were evacuated by the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service last night, and it's, as I say, when you consider there are pictures emerging on the internet of taken at the scene, and the flames are certainly engulfing a large part of the side of the house, and it's truly awful images.
David, thanks for joining us. We'll obviously bring you more news on that as we get it. Simon, just a brief reaction from you. Peter Lowell, I don't know if you've met Peter. Have you, Simon?
No, I haven't. No, not in my time, no. Obviously, I'm very well aware of him, and we've spoken about him a number of times during the course of this season about the toings and froings at Celtic. But you look at these things, Jim, and you look at the culture that's sort of... I know this is a very unique situation in Scotland because of the nature of the problem behind the situation, sectarian relationships and issues and challenges. Football being used as a vehicle to advance people's particular religious beliefs is a challenging one. We've seen fans, going outside Ed Woodward's house and doing things of a certain nature. Now, we don't know who this or what it is, but we can draw the conclusions that there's a blowback and a reaction to things that happened with Rangers. But the greatest thing in the world is that you've got people's families, and football should not bring this to someone's doorstep. It shouldn't be part of someone's thinking that in any shape or form to do something on any basis that vaguely resembles this is something that anybody can find acceptable, or even find a word to say how, reprehensible it is. This is where a man lives. I mean, I'm looking at the footage. He's got his granddaughter and his daughter living in the property because they've all been as part of a bubble. I mean, it's just appalling, isn't it?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.